back to LNV Tutorials. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a bead and wrapped wire bangle bracelet. So to begin, we have some 20 gauge wire. I have some 4mm gold beads and some 8mm kind of accent beads that I'm going to put on there as well. So I will begin by pulling out some of this wire here. Don't worry so much about the shape just yet. To get it kind of that bangle shape, I'm going to use a form it's called a bracelet mandrel to kind of shape it around. If you don't have access to one of those, I have found that a spray paint can is actually a very good size to use, kind of for the average wrist size. So I need about 8 inches of wire to start, and I'm going to need 3 sections that are 8 inches. You can certainly measure this. I'm just kind of guessing, but for this, that's what I do. All right, so we've got 8 inches, 3 different sections. So now that I have my 3 strands, like this, okay, I am going to begin by connecting them all together. I'm gonna leave, maybe 2 inches of space, and I'm gonna take my longer strand of wire and I'm going to wrap it, coil it around these 3 strands, and I'm going to do it 4 times so that I have 4 loops, 4 coils. I'm going to trim it off, and I'm going to take my pliers and I want to flatten that end down. This just takes a little kind of work because the wire in your hands wants to kind of twist while you're doing this. So there we go. I'm also going to make sure that my coils are all nicely tightened together immediately next to each other so there's no gap. Okay, so we have that. Now I'm going to trim off the other part of it. Again, make sure that it's flattened down. I'll go back at the end and really make sure that none of these ends have come up. The last thing you want is a piece of metal sticking out that's going to bother you. Okay, so making sure I'm on the screen here. My coil is on here. I'm going to take what appears to be kind of the middle strand, and I'm going to feed my beads onto it. Or start feeding the beads onto it. You can do them all at once, or you can do them a section at a time. I think it's easier to do them in a section at a time so you're not messing with them kind of trying to slide off. So what I'm going to be putting on here is a smaller gold bead, one of my larger kind of accent beads, and then another small bead. And then I'm going to kind of wrap the outer wire around those beads, and I'm going to make another coil. So let me show you here. Maybe. I'm going to have these scissors laying here, I'll use that. And the little round beads. Okay, so again, we'll slide a round bead, or sorry, a smaller bead on. Then we're going with the accent bead, and then another smaller bead. So this is what we have right now. Okay, so the two outer wires that don't have the beads on them are going to just kind of shape around the section of beads. So this part will kind of curve over the top, this one will kind of curve over the bottom. Just kind of like that. And then now, and you can actually, so if you can see, I kind of twisted the wires. You can do it that way, or you can make it so that they're going to curve back out. So each wire stays on its own side. It's kind of your preference. I prefer to have them stay in their lane. Okay. So now again, I'm going to take my longer piece of wire and I am going to wrap it around again to get the 4 coils. And you might notice too, once you flatten down your ends after making the 4 coils, you really end up with what appears to be 5 coils. So don't think that you've done something wrong. Three, 4. Okay. Cut that one, flatten that down. And then kind of flatten this one down as well. You be really careful when you're cutting that you don't cut the wrong wire, that's for sure. Make sure your coil is tight together. So now you can see, and you can kind of mess with the wire a little bit to get it, you know, shaped exactly how you want. So now we have this section here and we're ready to move on again, and I'm going to repeat this same process here and again and again and again until I get probably 7 or 8 of these beaded segments on here. Actually probably more like 6 or 7. And then when I return, I'm going to show you how to finish the ends so that we can make it clasp together and you can wear it like a bangle. So from here, again, I'm just going to find that center piece, which is here. I'm going to put my 3 beads on. I'm going to shape the outer wires around them, and I'm going to make a coil. So again, I'm going to repeat that. When I return, I will have those parts complete, and I'll show you how we finish the ends. Okay, so I have finished that step. You can see that I ended up doing 7 little segments of beads. Each one has the coil wrapped around it, like so. Both ends are just finished with a coil as well. And I've got, about 3 inches on one side, maybe 2 inches on the other left of wire. I'm gonna use that to create kind of the clasp component of it. So I have a bracelet mandrel here. Just kind of going by my wrist size. I'm gonna shape this around kind of this 3rd one up here, which would be right here. And I'm gonna use that to kind of give me a round shape. Actually, I'm gonna go up just 1 more. And I am just pressing the wire against the form to create that shape. I'm gonna kind of twist these just a little to give me an idea of where I need to make my, so you can see there, that will give me an idea of where to make my clasp part. So for that part, I'm just gonna make 2 kind of little hooks that will go together. And for that, I'm going to, let me unhook these. I'm gonna trim off some of this extra wire. And I'm gonna use my round pliers, and I'm just gonna shape this into a hook like this. I'm going to flatten that all together. Okay. And then now on the other side, I'm going to make an actual hook part. So for that, let me trim these some more. So I have a loop on this side. Sorry, I should have clarified that better. I have a loop on this side. This one's going to be a hook. So the hook will just kind of hook into that. And I'm going to trim a little more. And I want them to be even. And I'm using the largest part of my round pliers. Like this. I'm also going to bend back the top, so the very edge, just to kind of give it a little bit of a decorative component. I'll show you here what I'm working with. So now we have a shape that works like this, so it hooks in together. Okay, so keep in mind that for one like this, even though it's a bangle, it's a clasping bangle. So you don't have to be, you're not gonna have to be able to slide it on like you would with one like this, okay, that slides on. You're gonna put it on, but then you're gonna clasp it. So generally those are a little bit smaller around than what a bangle that doesn't clasp would be, okay, because it's gonna go on, but it's also gonna close up. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, I am going to include a link in the description below with all of the supplies, like links to all the supplies if you are looking to create one of these yourself. And as always, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, guys.